This project is all about learning our pen tool. There's quite a bit of features hidden within our pen tool. And we're going to learn how to use our pen tool in order to draw shapes and create an illustration logo. For this one, we're going to be doing a cardinal. And you've just completed your first exercise with the pen tool called MP. So let's get started. And you're going to be using your drawing of a cardinal that you did. First thing we want to do is we want to go to File, New, and we will create a new document using letter and then hit Create. Go ahead now and drag your cardinal into the document and then lock your layer, which will be your image. Now we're looking at our pen tool, and the trick to the pen tool is do it in the fewer points as possible. So you're going to have a limit of how many times you can click and create an anchor point. An anchor point is each time we click on our pen tool. And with our pen tool, we'll have handles that we can control. And our handles can, here we are, can be straight or curve. So we're going to start by looking at our cardinal in the shapes we originally made it as to help us better get an idea of what shapes we need to make. So here we go. In our original drawing, we did 2 circles and a third circle for the eye. And that was making our body. We added a cap to the head, and we added to the wings, and then we had a tail. What we want to do is we want to focus on this. That won't show up. Let's get a color that we can see. All right, we're going to focus on drawing this part of our body. We'll add the wings, second, the beak, third, and then we'll end up with the tail at the end. Okay. So go to your cardinal and zoom in. We're going to click P on the keyboard. That takes us to our pen tool. And we're going to start right here at the tail. We're going to click and drag our tail. And with the pen tool, oftentimes we start to draw and then we go back and fix it. So, again, we're going to click and drag the handle, like arms, up. Then we're going to look for where it curves for our first curve, like a wave. And I can see it's right here. I'm going to curve and hold my handle. That's 2 points. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to see this is my second curve, where probably about right here. So I'm going to click and drag, and I'm paralleling the curve. So that's 3. I'm going to come up to the beak area, the breast, that's 4. Then I'm going to come up right in between where the beak is, that's 5. And from there I'm going to see, can I get one big one here, 5. That's 6 now. When I come down on a pen tool, I click where I left off. And now I'm going to come down for my next one. So that's 6. I'm going to go 7. This is a small one. 8. 9. I just clicked once there and no handle because we're going to be pulling out here. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to go back. Okay, 9. I'm going to click here. And I'm going to zoom out just so that you can see. We're not doing the wing because the wing is not important. That's going to be done in a second one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A hidden one. 10, 11. Now, we'll fix the tail. I'm going to fill it in just to see. Pretty good. Let's focus on the tail here. I'm going to hold my Alt key and grab the left handle and pull it up. And I'm going to pull both handles in. I'm going to hold down my Alt key. I'm going to pull one handle in. I'm going to go to the A. So I clicked on A and then the anchor point. Lets me see the other handle. Let's do that again. I'm going to click out. If I was in P, that's my pen tool, but I want to access the anchor point, so I'm going to have to hit A. Now I have my anchor point, holding down, and then I can just move it up. You got a nice curve here, and I'm going to find the anchor point on the breast here that I had, and I can pull that up. Now I have it. I think what we have here is a great shape, and we'll curve it. Okay. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 anchor points. Remember, each anchor point can be moved, and each anchor point has handles. One anchor point has no handles because it was coming off a sharp edge. I could have curved it and say I want to curve it. I go right up to convert, and right there I can convert that point. Now you can see how nice and smooth it is. Perfect. We'll stop there. Raise your hand. Now come over, and then we can have no more than 12 anchor points. Okay. Good job. All right. Next, we're going to do the wing. Go and get your pen tool by clicking on P. And we're doing the outside of our pen tool, outside of our wing. So I'm going to start right here. Because I don't see that line, I'm going to make sure that my stroke, as you can see right now, this is a fill coming in my pen stroke. So I need to reverse the two so that there's no fill and that we have a stroke. And there was no line there, so I just drew it. Sometimes we have to use our imagination and complete a line. So I'm going to click and drag my handle. I'm going to find where the circle And I think right there. What we're using is what's called the elastic band. It kind of lets us see what's going to be drawn before we draw it. Small handle here, large handle before. The greater the circle distance is between handles, the greater your handles are. All right, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm going to say, could I get rid of this one? I'm going to say minus. I'm going to come up to my handles here. I'm going to click on A. I'm going to pull. And I sure can. So the trick is, can you get rid of a handle? So this is changing curve, so I definitely need that one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 for our wing. Let's give it a different color. Now let's turn on our breast. Okay, so as we're looking here, we need an area to cover this area. We have it in our bird here, so we're going to click on our bird. There's a handle right there. Let's just move it up. Perfect wing. Looks really good. Let's come to our beak now. I like to turn off. Let's go to our pen tool. Click. 1, 2, 3. Again, I have a fill, so I'm going to switch it. There we go. Now I have a stroke. Click, no handle, and click and return. Let's give it a different color. Oftentimes, I may want to curve a line between two. So I'm going to go to A. And I want to pull this out, so I'll need to click on an anchor point and change it to a curve. There we go. Let's give it a different color. No stroke. There we have our beak. Stop. Call me over. Our beak can only have, let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go on to our tail. Okay, we'll turn off our work. Remember, I'm zoomed in, so I can only see the tail. We'll click on P. Let's start at the bottom. I'm going to click, go halfway into that curve, very little pulling of the handle. I'm going to go into my second one. I'm going to curve. I'm going to go past the line. Again, switching, so just the stroke is filled. I can just do a straight line. We won't see this, so we're going to come down. And we'll do a slight curve, and then I'm going to hold down my Alt key and pull that handle inside. And I'm not liking what I see, so I'm going to go to A. I'm going to see where I can fix this up, and there's my handle I'm going to pull it out. And here, I would like another handle. So I'm going to go and make it a curve. Pull one up, hit A, should have, I don't have two handles there. So sometimes I need to add a handle. I'm going to go P minus because I think I can do these nicer with fewer handles here. So I'm going to redo my tail. This happens when you're working in the pen tool. I'm going to go back to my pen tool, hit on P. I'm going to start again. I'm going to go 1, I'm going to pull up. I'm going to go 2, I'm going to drag 3, 4, 5, but I forgot to pull there. We'll come back and fix it. 5, 6, and I'll pull back up. So let's zoom in. I'm going to hold down my Alt key so I can take and move the handle up. I would like this to be curved. So I'm going to go to A, click on the anchor point, and switch it to curve. And then I just have to adjust the handle. There are two handles here, and the height of the handle makes it more curved. Straighten those out. When I have a nice straight handle, it keeps the line straighter. And let's fill it in. Let's turn our layers on. And of course, our tail now needs to be moved down. And let's see how we're doing. All right, so you have your shapes now. Should have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We have the body, we have the wing, we have the nose or beak, and we have the tail. Call me over when you have finished part 1.